Welcome to Critique by Kids Training, Attending Your Review Appointment. First, we're going to talk about what you're going to need to bring when you go to your review appointment. You're going to want to make sure to bring your camera, of course, and make sure that it has video capabilities. Have your battery and charger for your camera. Make sure there's plenty of space on your memory card and have a backup card just in case. Make sure that you bring your specific checkoff list for the type of review that you're going to be conducting. So this would be your hotel checkoff list, your restaurant checkoff list, activity checkoff list, whatever it is, make sure that you have that specific checkoff list for the type of review that you will be conducting. Have at least one child between the ages of 0 and 18, 19 if they're still in high school. If a child is under the age of 13, an adult must attend the review appointment. For teens that are 14 to 18, sometimes they like to go and conduct reviews as a group, something fun for them to do together. This is okay as long as they have written permission from their parent or guardian to attend the review appointment without them. I have to stress this. If you allow your teenager to go and do a review without you, make sure that they have the maturity to conduct themselves appropriately. And finally, you're going to need someone to record the video review and take pictures. This is typically your job, but you might want to assign this to an older child who wants to learn video editing skills and videography. 1 to 2 days before your appointment, make sure your outfits are clean and free from graphics or logos. Choose your colors wisely. Make sure that they do not have any small patterns that might appear fuzzy on a video or uneasy on the eyes. Also, be cautious with any bright colors that may fade your child out. Make sure your equipment is charged and ready to go. And I like to call the business a day or two before to remind them of my appointment with them. When I call them, I like to remind them of the appointment time and how many people I'll be bringing with me. This is really helpful for me because I have a large family and I have to be very mindful of how many people I bring with me to my review appointments. And it really depends on the type of business you're going to review. For example, if I'm going to review a restaurant, there is no way I'm going to take all 8 of my children to be fed at one restaurant. Because they're comping my meals, I think that that would be inappropriate. In fact, when they sign up on the business registration page, they have the ability to put a cap on the amount of service they are going to comp per person, and also to choose how many people they're willing to comp for. So they might say, I'm willing to provide a meal for 5 people with a max of $20 per person. So if it's a restaurant, we have to be very mindful of the amount of people that we're bringing to the appointment. On the other hand, if I'm going to go to a museum or a zoo, anything with free entry, typically it's okay to take all of my children because it doesn't really cost them anything to allow us to go into their establishment to view whatever it is they have for us to see. It just depends on the type of business, and I want you to be mindful of this and judge accordingly. Also, while we're on the subject of calling the business ahead of our appointment, I want to share with you something that I sometimes do. Not always, just sometimes, especially if I'm on vacation and I need to feed all 8 of my children. And in this case, I would go to maybe 3 different restaurants, and I would take 2 or 3 in one restaurant, 2 or 3 in another restaurant, and maybe 2 or 3 in the next. So that would take a very long time if we did not call ahead and pre-order. Now, this is okay to do. If you call the day before or even a couple days before and say, I would like to let you know what we are going to order. And that way, when you show up to the appointment, you are able to meet with the business representative. They will immediately go back and tell the cooks to start your order. And by the time you have recorded the decor and you have met with the business representative and you sit down to your table, you are able to then get your meal right away, videotape your kids just taking a few bites and enjoying the service and interacting with the staff, and then be done. Wrap it up. Take it to go. That's what I do. What that does is it shows that you're busy and that you're here to work, you're here to be professional, to get the job done, but you don't want to take any more of their time. So I do that not every time, but I do that especially when I'm on vacation and I need to go to several different restaurants in order to feed my children. Just something that you might want to try out every once in a while. You're probably going to hear me say this many times, but make sure that your children get plenty of rest so that they can be at their best. Did you know that most of Americans, especially children, are sleep deprived? I know, especially for my children, that contributes to a lot of their temper tantrums. And if they are well rested, they will be so happy and sweet for their videos. So make sure that they get their sleep. Review rules of etiquette and behavior with your children before you go to the appointment. I like to do this a couple days in advance. I like to do it one day in advance, and I like to do it the day of the review to make sure that my kids are aware that they are leaders and that people are going to be watching them as they have fun. This is really cool for children to experience. So make sure that they're prepared. As soon as you get to your review appointment, locate your business contact person and inform them that you've arrived. They'll typically come out and talk to you before your review starts. Communicate with them the time you feel you'll need to properly look over their location and experience their service. Ask them if there's something specific they would like you to include in their review. For instance, maybe they have a specific exhibit or an activity they would like you to highlight. It's also okay to ask them, what is your business's greatest challenge and how are you working towards improving upon it? I suggest taking notes, writing these things down so that while you're doing the review and your child is happy experiencing whatever activity they're doing, you don't forget what they would like you to include or highlight in your video. Make sure that all appropriate forms are filled out. Specifically, this would include the personal consent form. Anybody that is in the video needs to have that personal consent form filled out. Also, I just wanted to say, you do not have to fill out a new personal consent form for your children every time they're in a review. That's done when they sign up as a Kid Critic, and it covers all of the reviews that they conduct. During this initial meeting with your business contact person, you can ask them if they would like any staff members to be in the video. And this is when you would hand the person the personal consent form and have them fill it out. Just a reminder, the personal consent form is located in the Kid Critic packet. It's the exact same one that your children or that you filled out for your children to allow them to be in the video. So you can just print those out and take them with you to your appointment. Experience the business and film everything. I like to take video footage from different angles, and I also like to include still pictures. Make sure that you plan and take time to film your video snippet promo video that's going to be uploaded on your social media accounts. This is something that I do while I'm at the appointment so that I can show that I'm at this awesome zoo or this awesome aquarium or this wonderful restaurant, and I can show even their sign in the background of my promotional video. Be aware of the people around you and do not film anyone without their permission. It's okay if it's appropriate to tell other guests what you're doing, that you are filming a video review of the business for Critique by Kids. Be polite and professional. Make sure your children know that they are examples to those around them. And think of the amazing things that they're learning by interacting in this type of a situation. All the skills that they're learning for their social development are going to be so good for them. Make sure to check everything on your list, take notes, get pamphlets, and gather all information that you need. Take pictures with your phone and send them to Critique by Kids social media accounts. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram are great for this real-time reporting. Be timely. Enjoy your experience, but be mindful of the time you are spending at the business and judge it accordingly. A good example of this is a restaurant versus, say, a children's museum. If you go to a restaurant, you're not going to want to sit there for 3 hours and just socialize. That would not be okay. But it is appropriate if you're going to a children's museum or an aquarium or a large zoo to spend 3 hours looking at everything that they have to offer. So make sure that you judge your time according to the type of business you are reviewing. Review the checkoff list with the business representative before you leave. Let them know they will receive an email when the review is finished, typically within 2 weeks, and that you will tag them in the social media promo video. Now, you don't have to be the one to send them that confirmation email because that's done automatically when you upload your review to the site. But you are going to have to be the one to tag them in the social media promo video when you upload it to your social media account. Be aware that the video footage and pictures are copyrighted and owned by Critique by Kids. So if they want to view the full video and also track the amount of views it receives, they can sign up for a membership to our site. Finally, make sure you gather all your belongings on your way out. This concludes our training on attending your review appointment. For answers to additional questions, check out our daily growing blog located on the public portion of our website, or you can email us at info@critiquebykids.com.